Hey everybody, MS Farzan here, and today we're playing Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons. Guild Wars 2 is of course an MMORPG put out by ArenaNet, and End of Dragons is the most recent expansion out of several, and I've been playing around with this for a while, and I have kind of a love-hate relationship with Guild Wars 2. I mean, maybe it should be called like don't like relationship, in that it's certainly my MMO of choice to play, and I love it. I did slash age, and it seems as though I've played this character for 266 hours, and not to mention my other characters, my alts. So you could say that I do love the game, and I don't always agree with all the design decisions that go into some of the expansion content and some of the systems. So it's one of those things where you treat the things that are closest to you with the heaviest amount of criticism. So it's certainly my favorite MMO, and I can't complain about that. But I certainly, because I play so much of it, and I feel like it's so near and dear to me, the little things that pester me probably don't pester other people. But we'll get into that. The End of Dragons content is pretty expansive, to belabor the term expansion. It adds things like fishing skiffs, fishing, new advanced classes for your professions. What else? A turtle mount that I haven't gotten to, a whole new area and story. Right now I'm in the city of New Kaineng, which is the main city hub in this expansion, and I'm hanging out on my skiff, which I think this came with purchasing the deluxe edition. When you first get your skiff, it's going to look not very exciting, just a plain old fishing skiff. That's actually pretty cool. And of course, like with other things in Guild Wars, you can either purchase or earn, depending on the type of item, different skins for it. So I've got the Xingjie dragon boat. So skiffs is a big thing. Fishing is a big thing, where you can fish for fish. And you can also unlock jade bots, which do little things for you, like allow you to use zip lines throughout the world, or enable these little defense bots, or do other little nicks and knacks around here, around town. And so we'll take a look at all of those different things. There's a turtle mount, as I mentioned, but I haven't unlocked that yet, and that's one of my gripes, is that a lot of the things that you should be able to unlock from the get-go of the expansion are gated behind content. It's pretty much always been that way with Guild Wars 2, and that's not one of my favorite things. I mean, like, if I'm supposed to be able to use a turtle mount, you should be able to just let me get that from the start. But that's a very specific design decision that I disagree with, and other people might find interest in it. And let's look at the elite specialization, is what I should have called the advanced classes. With the previous expansions, I'm playing my ranger right now. There's been the druid and the soul beast, and now there's the untamed, which allows you to use hammers as a ranger. As you can see, I've only unlocked about less than half of this profession, and I can't really complain about the need to explore the world and gain hero points to be able to unlock your professions at your advanced classes. I kind of the mind that I just want to be able I'm realizing that I'm starting this video just complaining about my favorite game, so please bear with me. One of the things that really grinds my gears is that with the expansion content, you have to go around the world and unlock hero points, usually a hero point nexus or NPC will net you 10 hero points, and you dump them into this new skill tree to fully unlock your new elite specialization, which is fine. I mean, I understand you have to have some sort of character progression. It's just that because the way the maps are gated, often based on story content, or you just have to get there to unlock, let's say, a hero point. the workaround people have done is to create a hero point train where you'll just see if someone's running a train and then jump in with them and then run around a bunch of different maps and get like 230 hero points, which is like, okay, that's a fine workaround, but it's not very fun. I could just dump 2 hours in and get my advanced specialization done, which I've done on multiple characters now. I just feel like there's a more elegant way to handle that whole progression. And of course there's masteries in addition to this. So when you hit level 80 and you start leveling up your masteries, all of the different content that comes out tends to, like whether it's the living world or the expansions, tends to have some sort of mastery line associated with it. With Heart of Thorns, it was the ability to glide or to use different lore to get around the world. With Path of Fire, it was the different mounts that came in, the Raptor, Springer, and Skimmer mount, as well as later they added the Jackal and the Roller Beetle mount. With the Icebrood Saga, which I haven't even done anything with, I think that's where you can get a flying mount. I don't recall. And with End of Dragons, you have the Fishing, Skiff Piloting, Jade Bots, Arborstone Revitalization, and the Turtle mount. These have all been gated with story, so it's like to even get to the Turtle mount, you have to get through the story, or maybe the Turtle mount's something you unlock through an event. I don't quite recall. I was looking for it online. All that to say that, like, things are gated in a very, to my sensibilities, peculiar way sometimes, and not always in the most clearly incentivized way. So I kind of wind up, just plunking along through the world, doing the story quests, and when stuff starts to unlock, then I start paying attention. Which is fine. Like, if you like the game and you like exploring the world, then you'll probably wind up unlocking this stuff anyway. But you might wind up like where I am in Path of Fire, where I have a bunch of things that, like, I think I have like XP to unlock more stuff in Path of Fire, but I don't have enough mastery points, which you have to go around the world and secure, similar to the hero points. With this, so like with fishing, I've just unlocked bonus 100 to fishing power while nourished. Cool, so I can purchase that. I have enough available points. But sometimes when you get through getting enough XP to level up a mastery point, you won't even notice, and so it'll just hang there and you're just wasting your time doing other stuff. So I don't know, I'm just complaining. So let me stop complaining and show you the world a little bit more. So I'm in the middle of New Kaineng, which is the as I mentioned, the main hub for the expansion. The game breadcrumbs you to Seitung province here in this village and kind of guides you around some of the different systems with the original with the starting quest material. You'll pretty quickly be able to unlock fishing, and then this is what you'll do for a while. So, and it's fun. Like, fishing is awesome. I haven't really spent enough time to see if there's I missed setting the hook. I haven't really spent much time to see if you get a lot of benefit from fishing and from the type of fish that you get, but who cares? It's fishing. Like, I get to take my skiff out onto the open waters and fish and do this little fishing mini game to keep that little green thing within my scopes for a predetermined amount of time, which I'm sure I can do, even though I don't fish in real life. This is way more fun than it seems on video, I'm sure. Nice, and I got an achievement. Yeah, this is totally... I'm surprised this wasn't in the game earlier, simply because it's one of those things where you don't really have to think much about... No, I missed it. You don't really have to think much, and you can just turn off your brain and find new areas with different types of fish and just go fishing. the game wants you to use your skiff to get around it, and it makes no uncertainty about that by having water being running through most of New Kaineng. You can get around using the zip lines, using your Jade bot, and you know, that's pretty cool too. But like, this whole area is just like, it's pretty cool architecture, taken up by water here. One thing, and if you don't know about this, there's like a active mouse setting that is hidden in Guild Wars 2. So like, if you like using your mouse to control your character, which I quite do, it in terms of like the way that way your character turns, and even for some of your abilities for combat. Like, I'm controlling with my mouse right now, and it's I prefer it. I wish more MMOs had that. Okay, last gripe, and then I'll stop complaining. One other thing is that you have your little mastery skills here. So if you want to start fishing, you can click this, or you can hit the J button, and this little teeny tiny arrow right here allows you to switch which mastery skill is mapped to the J key, or you can just summon your skiff by clicking on it. So it's like, I can either fish or summon my skiff, or change one of them to, like, assign one of them to the J key, but not both. Like, why not have, I don't know why I'm complaining. I'm sorry. I'll stop doing that, and just seriously, from this moment forward, we're only positivity here on the Guild Wars 2 Path of Dragons overview. So, New Kaineng, definitely very East Asian inspired. Definitely got some like cyberpunk. There's I'm not going to spoil anything about the story for you, but there's definitely a dependence on what's called Jade Tech, which is like this quasi-magical, quasi-engineering based technology that is used throughout Kantha, which is the continent we're on right now. So you'll see a lot of green, a lot of presumably Jade Tech stuff with like pretty like cyberpunk themed art and decorations, and it's pretty cool. A lot of cool vistas for you to explore. Let's see if there's a zip line we can use. So to use any of the Jade Tech, you'll need to stock up on Jade batteries. And like here, we can use the teleporter, which costs 1 charge, to get our Jade bot. Aww. To get our Jade bot working for us. Right now I'm playing an untamed build. Not untamed. Is it untamed? What are we calling this? A soul beast build, excuse me. Which allows me to... I'm actually not even sure how this is supposed to work, but it allows me to like become one with my pet, which doesn't sound right, and then gain extra abilities in so doing. It also allows me to use a dagger with my main hand, which you can't usually do with a ranger. So where are we gonna go? Oh, Bori Ward is offline. That must mean it's under attack. Badal Hill. Well, how about the Ministry Ward, Eastern Gardens? Why not? See what's happening there. So as far as the architecture goes, as you can clearly see, it's super epic. like, it may be extreme to call it breathtaking, but it's pretty fantastic. The ArenaNet team has always been great at designing beautiful locales with complex architecture, and the End of Dragon stuff is no different. They have a clear design vision, artistic vision for this region of the game, and importantly, they execute on it well, and they've determined how to best use verticality in their games and allow you to have multiple ways to traverse that verticality, so it doesn't feel onerous to go from one location to another. So like the zip lines are a great example, and so are things like your raptor mount or your springer mount, which allow you to jump further or jump higher respectively, to help you get around these places without feeling like, for example, when the game first came out, the jumping puzzles, when you didn't have any sort of mount or any way to get around other than just jumping, felt like you were trying to shoehorn platforming into an MMO game. And now they've leaned into the verticality of their games, but they've also given you better ways to traverse them. So like this zip line is going to take us across the way here.
Might and glory.
One thing to be aware of too is that if you've been playing one character for a long time, which if you play MMOs, unless you just roll alts, that's probably the way you play them. It can get kind of tiresome to play the same kind of character over and over again, and the same combat. And I think this game does a really good job of giving you better options with the elite specializations. Yes, I said that I would prefer that there would be more unlocked up front so that you can really jump into the elite specialization, not have to either run around the world or do one of the HP trains. But once you do, you do have a new option for how to go about things, which I've always found to be one of the most exciting parts of the game, because not only am I pretty familiar with how the Ranger plays, I'm pretty intimately familiar with how the longbow plays, and Ranger for me is really made for longbow for distance attacks, at least in PvE. So I usually have a longbow in one of my weapon slots, and then I switch it out with one of the mastery. So the elite specialization. So right now I have daggers in because that's part of the Soul Beast specialization. But it provides for a little variety, whereas before I was doing, I think it was longbow, greatsword. So that variety is really appreciated. Let's grab a jade battery just in case we need it. Oh, I already have the maximum of chargers. That's cool. The story so far, I'm a little bit surprised to say that it has surprised me in terms of how much I'm enjoying the story of End of Dragons. That's not to say that the Guild Wars 2 stories have not been interesting. I think they all have this, both the main game and the expansion content all have these sweeping narratives that take you across the multiple areas of the game and tie into characters from the books and from Guild Wars 1 and from the living story stuff. But this one feels like they've perfected the formula even further, in that I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Like it's more compelling than it has been before, and I think one of the reasons for that is that there are fewer bits where you feel like you're just grinding out battles. That you can go anywhere in the world and do renowned hearts and just like do the ambient content, which is one of the best parts of Guild Wars 2. So like when you're stuck in just doing combats in the quest material, it's just kind of like, okay, I've seen this before and I can do this anywhere. But they've added some more compelling stuff in terms of the mechanics that really make it feel one of the best offerings that they've had so far. Okay, let's find something to do. Speaking of renown hearts, I think there's one renown heart that I haven't gotten to here. Somewhere nearby. It's on Grub Lane. Help the East Precinct. So we're just going to teleport back to where we were before, I think. Give you a good view of the ward first. It's pretty cool. Really a lot of work has gone into this. It reminds me of I think it was Cantha in Guild Wars 1, but Cantha, of course, Guild Wars 1 obviously doesn't have these fully 3D vistas, and this is it's pretty staggering how much work has gone into this. We'll take the stairs just to have a look around.
Get yourself a steaming cup of free root and ginger stew. Perfect after a long day of work in the lab.
I feel like the Raptor mount is definitely my favorite utility mount, like just getting around. But I haven't unlocked the flying mount, which, like I meant, I think, like I mentioned, I think is part of the Icebreed saga. So probably that's, I mean, does flying beat running? Like probably. See how cool is that? Shut off the UI. I do spend a lot of time just like being a tourist and taking screenshots and stuff. I also feel like an overbearing parent who like like is gonna like criticize his kid. I mean, this Guild Wars 2 is not my kid, but criticize his kid before he praises them with Guild Wars. So should probably just skip the first. You probably should have just skipped the first 15 minutes of this video, and then now you can listen to me rave about how cool End of Dragons is. Had to get it off my chest. Okay, what do the people at Grub Lane need me to do? Squash unchained grubs and catch infected crows. Identify purist hideouts and return stolen eyes of the ocean to their shrines. Seems like a lot of work. Pretty epic. There's an area over here too, where I think it's just north of here. Yeah, Old Kaineng, where the city just, you know, it has become overgrown. It's pretty rad.
Ambassador, ever since the reopening, we've seen
See a grub. Hello, ruffians. I'm sure you mean no one any harm.
I swear, there isn't
So I wonder if and when they're going to add Tengu to the
Did you hear about Suda?
races in the game, because they Tengu have been around for a while and they're conspicuously absent from the game's races. Okay, can't hit J to get my skiff out. Gotta do it manually. Gonna take our little Pirates of the Caribbean tour into Old Kaineng. I think we're taking damage here. Set sail for Old Cunning. Oh, I feel like I can get through there. What if you're on Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride, and you got lost? And you just spent 18 hours in Disneyland drinking mint juleps and eating churros. It doesn't sound too bad, actually. Yeah, so this is where the city's gotten overgrown. Whoa, I have stumbled into the wrong neighborhood. That's pretty cool. I mean, visually, the game does give you a lot of reasons to explore the world and get those hero points. Let's see what's over here. Oh, not too good. No, nobody friendly here. Nobody friendly here. Nobody friendly here. Okay. Let's take a look also at the western edge of the city. Garden Heights. Really cool. This is where you come in and cut your teeth on New Kining. But if we can go over to the edge here and just check out the vista.
With June-line Jade's amazing new zipline
This
technology,
whole like
nothing is ever too far away. If you can see
crazy laboratory area and just ties into the story, and it's pretty rad. Oops, sorry bro. Just using the zip line. Pretty rad. So let's actually get out of New Kining for a minute, and we'll go to the Seitung province. This is where you actually start out when you get here, after some story bits and cinematics. What I really should have done is unlock some of the elite specializations and show you how they play, but you know, you're getting to play it the way that I'm playing it, basically. I haven't unlocked all that stuff yet, so I'm not really there yet, but I'll get there. So this is what I would presume what the Turtle Mount looks like, and I think you can do co-op with it. Like there's spots for 2 players. There's a whole training facility, and I think the seat of the Empress is here. The first bits of this have felt more in line. Whoa, it just disappeared. Is that a thing? Have felt more in line thematically with the way the game is built. Why is this person invisible? Is that are they supposed to? Oh, they use stealth. Must be nice. It feels more in line thematically with what the game sort of is billed as, in terms of like East Asian inspired little temples and things like this, and bridges, and the color scheme just feels all thematically very similar isn't the right word, I guess. Harmonious, put together very well. Some of the later areas I've gotten to don't feel as in line with that, which is fine. But you get to this, like, without spoiling anything too much, you get to this like more Eastern European inspired temple thing, which feels very much out of place with what they've been going for with the earlier areas, and maybe that comes together later, or maybe that has to do with story bits that I'm not aware of, or lore. But I mean, it's nothing to really complain about. And yet I found a way to do so. Like I said, the ones that are closest to you, you complain the most about. So take my kvetching as simply a deep appreciation for the game, and wanting it to be like absolutely perfect rather than mostly perfect. In terms of the story for the game, you might want to do some reading up on the previous campaigns, the previous expansions, and the main story for the game if you haven't completed them. Even I, who have played through the main story, the 2 expansions, and a bunch of the Living World stuff, I haven't played the most recent Living World stuff, like the Icebrood stuff, and I was a little bit lost with some of the characters. If you haven't been following along, it would be good to just read up on the wiki of what you've missed. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to follow along with, and you'll fall into the story, which has to do with, as you can imagine, the end of dragons, or the end of the dragon cycle. That is part and parcel of the world and lore of Guild Wars 2. And you'll see some familiar faces. You'll definitely meet a lot of new characters, and to call it world-shattering would be an understatement. They've really just taken the whole thing in terms of the Guild Wars lore and story, and just like they're prepared to upend it all. So I'll just say that. Make sure that I have. So each class has a new elite specialization, as I mentioned. Just making sure I cover all the important bits for you. We talked about fishing and skiffs and jade bots. I haven't really dove into the Arborstone revitalization yet. But it seems as though it's like, I mean, I've been to Arborstone, but it seems as though it's almost like your base of operations. Cool. Looks like I have to complete the story to train some of this stuff. It's fine. And there's the Jade Bot. You can slot in different cores, and also different chips to. I haven't really been gated by any of this stuff yet, but I would imagine that the deeper you get into the expansion, the more stuff you'll need. And same with fishing. You can equip different fishing rods or different baits. And what else do we have? We talked about mounts. There's also these different... So if you are into doing quests and stuff with other people, which I'm not like the biggest... raider or anything anymore. I used to be with World of Warcraft and Lord of the Rings Online, other games. I generally only do dungeons if I need to, but there's a whole lot of that content here for you. The newest thing I think that has come with this expansion is strike missions. I can't remember if it was available in a previous expansion, but anyway, I have no idea what to tell you, whether or not they're exciting or interesting or whatever, but there's always more stuff here for you, whether you're doing fractals or these new strike missions, if they are indeed new. And I haven't also checked out the World versus World or any of the PvP content, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. I used to be big into PvP, don't really do it anymore. So, and what's great about Guild Wars 2 is I don't have to. If I'm not interested, I don't really have to engage with it unless the one thing I would say is that, like, if you're not into exploring, this probably won't do the job for you, because the exploration is one of the things that Guild Wars 2 does do best. And for all of my gripes about hero points and mastery points, having to find them, they do give you breadcrumbs to and a reason to go explore, rather than just be like, okay, go explore the world for no reason. Let's check out one of the later areas. We'll stay out of Arborstone, as that's a pretty key story bit. But we'll go to the this junkyard here in the Echoveld Wilds. That looks like Tom Bombadil's house, or Rivendell.
Echoveld Forest falls outside Ministry of Security jurisdiction.
So this champion, IGO, seems to be blocking our path, and since there's no one else around, I'm certainly not going to take them on myself. So I'm all for people having free license. See if we can we participate in this? We might as well. Looks like somebody is just kiting a bunch of people. I'm all for people being able to take their creative design in their own hands and try things differently. I'm just wondering if you see what I mean with this area not looking like it's thematically in line with the areas that we've just been in. So, like, I get that, though. You see that a lot in the MMOs, and I would just think that you have a bunch of different teams working on things, and maybe not siloed, but certainly given license to create what they're looking for, as long as it more or less is in line with the overall creative direction of the game. This area feels a little bit out of place, but still cool. Where do these stairs go? They go up. Oh, we found a mastery point without even looking for it. And this fool is trying to ruin it for us. Hopefully my pet will keep them occupied so I can get this master. Oh, come on, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, now I'm stealth. Yes! Lazy gaming for the win. I do appreciate the world events in Guild Wars 2, and even like the Renowned Hearts, because it feels like even if you fail them, you get a participation award. So, often overlooked, one of the things this game does best is just rewarding you for showing up. The story bits are certainly different, right? Because you have to finish them to progress, so you can't just mess around and feel like you've done a good job. I'll grab this hero point, or set of hero points, and then our the circle will be certainly complete from the beginning of the video, where I'm complaining about having to pick up hero points and then have randomly stumbled into both a mastery point and a hero point. So you can ask ArenaNet to send their complaints to my YouTube channel. Yay! That's cool. Actually makes me really happy. Somebody attacking me again? No.
Might and glory.
Go to the other area here. Am I in combat still? I thought we... Didn't we beat everybody up? Someone unlock this? Oh my god. I don't think we can take this person out myself. My poor pet is just trying to solo the boss. Let's get out of here.
Lose my pet.
We will not allow the Kurziks to rise again.
This is not looking good. This does actually evoke for me what I think it must be like around Tom Bombadil's house. Probably because of images I received from Lord of the Rings online around Tom Bombadil's house. Let's go to this other waypoint. I don't know if you played the original Guild Wars, but I was so excited to see Guild Wars 2 come out because I loved the original Guild Wars, and then it was kind of like they turned all of Guild Wars on its head. Like all of a sudden you could jump, and it was like a fully open world rather than mission-based game, and all these different classes and etc. And it has remained one of my favorite games to this day. It's so detailed and well done. So let's see, there seems to be a hero point up here. Let's see if we can get it. Now where is it? It's probably up on one of these things here. Straight ahead and a little bit lower. Are we in the right place? Hello? Blow us to the left. It's nice that it shows us where the zip line's gonna go. Aren't we just standing like right on top of it? Yeah. Let's see. Nice. Okay, so if you're wondering why I complain so much, you're wondering correctly, because we've just picked up a bunch of hero points and not had to do that much work for it. So this is me eating crow. Sorry, ArenaNet. Steadily moving up here. I gotta say, though, that it does feel a bit easier to get hero points and mastery points in Cantha than it ever has in any of the previous locations. Maybe with the exception of the main game. And maybe it's because you have different mounts now and different ways of getting around, but it definitely does feel easier. Like I'm already... we made some good progress in this session, and I don't feel like I need to jump into a hero point train to get them. Cool. So that's it's probably enough adventuring for one day. Let's go and park it in... Well, let's go back to the village and hit the open seas. I do like that you can just jump in and be like, you know what? I need my boat. I thought I was on the surface of the water. Yep. And then go. And then we can explore the harbor and avoid the sharks and sea turtles. And see that big jade bell thing. Did I already get these hero points? Okay, now I'm really eating crow because there's just hero points everywhere. Cool. Well, that's our little overview of Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons. Listen not to my gripes and groans from the beginning of the video, and please do listen more to how glowy I am about how great of a job they've done with composing a very, very exciting and fresh and vibrant and engaging new entry into the series. Guild Wars 2 is awesome. It's one of my favorite MMOs. It's definitely perennially installed on my hard drive, and I just jump in between games, or sometimes when an expansion comes out, I dive in for a longer period of time and just keep coming back to it. And End of Dragons is a great reason to do so. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. If it has, please be sure to like it and subscribe to my channel for more. You can also follow me on Twitter or head to nightpathpub.com to check out my books and games. You can complain about them as well. And we'll hope to see you soon.